Ladies, when your husband says, "Let me call you sweetheart," is he talking to you? Then, does your wife kiss you goodnight with one lip? Well, look at the funny side. You guessed it. Tonight, the funny side looks at everything you've always known about sex but didn't think was funny.
With your funny side host, Mr. Gene Kelly. Come on.
Good evening. For the next hour, we'll be looking at the funny side of sex, which we all know is fundamental. You have it, I have it, we all have it. Sex motivates everything we do and that we don't do. Everything we want and we don't want. Sex has many forms and disguises. It's a noun, as in male and female. It's a verb, which we'll discuss later, yes. And it's the ever popular adjective, sexy. Now, just what is sexy? Let's ask someone. Bert!
Oh, Bert, Mr. Kelly has a question.
Yeah? Bert, what is sexy?
I forget.
Well, Queenie, what do you think is sexy?
Well, Bert, before he lost his memory.
You see, everybody has a different idea of what is sexy, but whatever it is, men and women go to a lot of trouble to stay that way. Every little movement has a meaning all its own. Do you remember that lovely song? Well, years ago, when it was written, it meant exactly what it said. If you made a gesture like this, it meant love. Like this, strength. Despair, and so on and on. But today, psychologists tell us that movements don't always mean what they seem. They call them body signals, and most of them have sexual connotations. Well, if anything is sexy today, it's the movies. It used to be that the sexiest thing happening was in the balcony. Now it's right up there on the screen. Of course, we have the rating system. It ranges from G, which is general audience, down to X. And our little film tonight is rated XXX, which I guess means that the only people who can see it are those who have starred in an X-rated movie. Tickets, please. Tickets,
Are
please.
you sure you want to see this movie?
Well, it's half price for senior citizens.
Oh, in that case... John, I've changed my mind.
Oh, come on, honey. There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah? Then why'd you make me buy the tickets?
Jenna, will you come on? We'll miss the beginning.
Well, isn't it a continuous performance?
Jenna?
Hold it. Hold it.
What's wrong?
You see the sign there? It's rated XXX. You know what that means, don't you?
Yeah, it's going to make a lot of money.
Sex as a noun, meaning male and female, used to be easy to define, but no more. Now the roles are confused. Teenage boys and girls have become lookalikes. The only thing that can separate them is an army physical. Meanwhile, women of all ages are demanding first-class citizenship, the right to enjoy what men have always had, stress and aggravation.
Listen.
Fashions don't only change in clothes, they change in bookstores, too. And today, the fashion is toward the sex books. Everything from encyclopedias and dictionaries to illustrated manuals and do-it-yourself diaries. And there's always a big section on how to improve your marriage. Books like this, we find helpful hints in them. Let me read you one. And so, if your husband is always too tired to pay attention to you when he comes home from work, here are some suggestions to to make you more desirable. Spray the room with exotic incense.
I tried that. He sneezed all night.
Or to be really provocative, why not greet your husband at the door wearing nothing but a smile and an apron?
I tried that too, only instead of Dick, it was the plumber. He smiled right back.
Well, as a last resort, when all else fails, make him jealous. Make him jealous by pretending you're having an affair with another man.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Sure you could. Second honeymoons aren't necessary to rekindle marital romance. Why, all you need is attitude. Take this situation. Your typical tired husband who told his wife he just wanted to rest his eyes for a moment. Now, that was 2 hours ago. What's she going to do? Well, she's going to get to him with a children's song called Pop Goes the Weasel. Not sexy? You just watch what happens when you add a little attitude. Welcome back to The Funny Side, and this week's subject, a three-letter word meaning problems, and that word is sex. Now, the big problem right now is the sudden outbreak of permissiveness. It's the sexy 70s, folks. All the barricades are down. All the do's and don'ts are being replaced with why-nots. Movies have broken out in a rash of skin. Novels are now published with all the good parts already underlined. And as for the institution of marriage, well, the younger generation is doing a lot of instituting. You know, there are a lot of sex tests in magazines, but don't take them too seriously because according to the test in this magazine, I am a sexually well-adjusted middle-aged woman from the Midwest who likes canning peaches. You know, the poets tell us love conquers all. All except years of marriage, that is. But the thing is, love or not, you've still got to keep trying to be sexy to your mate. And that's not easy because some things you think are going to turn your mate on, turn him off. The battles of the sexual revolution rage on several fronts. The toughest fighting usually takes place in the local courthouse, which brings us to the matter at hand, because this book is on trial. No, I haven't read it, so I don't have an opinion about whether it's pornographic or not, but I can tell you this. It's the first book I've seen where the plain brown wrapper comes in another plain brown wrapper. Fortunately, I am not the one who has to make a decision. We'll leave that to the jury to decide. I'll meet you at the courthouse in about a minute.
Hi, I came for the trial.
Well, you're too late. The trial is over.
Oh, I wanted to see it.
Well, the jury just went into the jury room.
Oh, now that's something I'd like to see.
You really want to take a peek?
Yeah. Is that legal?
Are you kidding? It's guaranteed by the Constitution. Freedom to peek.
Oh.
Seems to be going along very nicely.
Yes. Well, Michael was very pleased to get on the jury.
Well, you mean a chance to take part in the judicial system?
Well, that too, but mainly because it was the only way he could get a chance to read that book.
Wait a minute. What? Just a minute. Once the judicial process is started, you cannot interrupt it. They'll be out when they finish.
What if they don't finish tonight?
Well, then accommodations will be made for them to stay over.
Oh, no, you don't. My wife is not staying in a hotel room with 11 cats that have read that book.
Well, that's about it for sex for tonight. I mean, I hope that we've answered everything you always wanted to know about it. But I'd better check with our couples to be sure we haven't left anything out.
Oh, I think it was a terrific show. I wouldn't hesitate to let my parents see it.
As long as we're there to explain it.
Well, I think we left out an important thing. You know, most husbands think that all they have to do is pay the bills. They don't realize that they should keep whining and dining their wives just like they did when they were courting.
Okay, Teresa, what would make you happy?
I would be happy if I were taken out to dinner at least 6 times a month.
Okay, baby, you can put me down for 3.
Well, I know one thing you left out.
What?
Can they do that? They can't do that.
Well, I think there should have been some reference to the discoverer of sex, Sigmund Freud.
Jenna, don't be silly. Freud didn't discover sex. It was around long before him. He just found a way to put it to better use.
I didn't learn a thing.
Of course not. A man your age should know all those things.
I just remember a little slower, that's all.
I hope you never have any serious problems regarding sex, but if you do, look at the funny side. Oh, and there's just one thing to remember. Be sure you laugh in the right places.